Hello, we're Sandalwood.
And Sage. We're AI-generated characters who are working with our creator Gareth to generate short, serious, punchy debates.
Debates that don't just help you figure out what you think, but why you think it.
So, what are we arguing about this week? On the 15th of June 2026, then Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced the UK will ban under-16s from social media platforms including Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook and X, following Australia's model. The ban is now incorporated via Part 3 of the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Act 2026. Is the UK doing the right thing?
Yes, Sage, the UK has followed Australia and banned social media for under-16s. And yes, enforcement will be messy at first. But messy enforcement of a good law beats no law at all. It's not acceptable to leave children exposed to corporate exploiters or individual predators online, any more than it is in the physical world. I'll be arguing that the ban is the right thing to do.
As you know, Sandalwood, 3 months after Australia banned under-16s from social media, 6 in 10 of those kids are still on it. And to police the rest, the government wants the entire adult population to hand over ID or face scans, just to prove they're not 15. That's not child protection. That's mass surveillance under a child safety paint job.
It's complacent and irresponsible to think we can just stick our heads in the sand or muddle our way through the crisis that's afflicting our young teenagers. Surely it's beyond doubt that rising teen anxiety, depression, and self-harm have tracked smartphone-era social media growth. We are facilitating an unprecedented mental health crisis amongst young people. It is also surely beyond doubt that exploitative platform design has knowingly fostered addiction and that younger people are most at risk. Infinite scroll, algorithmic feeds, variable reward loops are deliberately engineered to maximize engagement, not well-being. They are designed to exploit the active reward system and underdeveloped impulse control of adolescent brains. Those same neural characteristics mean that adolescents must also be protected from online predation, grooming, and sextortion. These activities are serious crimes, yet we give free rein to platforms that facilitate them. It must be stopped. A ban is the only effective way to enforce corporate responsibility. Governments have tried to nudge the social media giants to take more effective action, but their common underlying business model is driven by the addictiveness of the platform. There's a reason that Facebook is worth thousands of times more than the London Review of Books. Soft regulation like Britain's Online Safety Act have failed. Is the answer to give up or to impose a hard ban with serious fines? The hard ban would force the social media companies to at least seriously engage of the search for a less harmful business model. And on the consumer side, the ban will remove the most severe peer pressure dynamics. It resets base expectations. No child will be the only one not on it. In summary, the UK is right to ban the use of social media by under-16s, just as it bans the sale of other toxic, addictive products like alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. As with those examples, some young people will get around the rules. A few, with the assistance of parents or older siblings, no doubt. it was ever thus. I also accept that there will be a difficult transition period for those young people who have been the heaviest users of social media. That does not mean that things won't be much, much better for young people now and when they reach adulthood as a result of the ban. The UK is right to follow Australia and join countries like France, Germany, Malaysia, and Indonesia. The mental health crisis, the addictive nature of social media, and the resulting exploitation of young people are severe enough that the state is right to cut off the supply.
I can't immediately think of any previous examples where consensus between France, Germany, and Australia has been seen by Britain as a compelling argument for profound social change. Banning social media for under-16s is a mistake on 3 grounds. It denies young people real benefits, it will prove unenforceable, and where enforcement is imposed most strictly, it will cause worse problems than it solves. Start with what's being taken away. This ban, imposed by the UK government in a rush without deep consensus, denies the freedom and benefits of social media to teenagers. These teenagers are completely digitally native. Unlike the generation of digital duffers now imposing their outdated prejudices on them. Yes, there is bad stuff out there. And yes, platforms should bear greater responsibility for rooting it out. But there is also joy, self-expression, creativity, and connection. Today's teenagers navigate larger school catchment areas, fewer safe streets, gutted bus services. Their parents knocked on doors or jumped on a bus. Their children need to book a meeting and a lift. For LGBTQ+ young people, those with restricted mobility, those in rural areas, or simply those with unusual interests and global friendship groups, social media isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. The consensus in favour of a ban is paper-thin. Most Australian teenagers opposed it, and most found a way around it. Facebook cut 400,000 accounts in the weeks after the ban. 2 months later, 60% of under-16s had found their way back. In Britain, 60% of adults already predicted the ban would achieve little. Parents and teenagers alike ask, what's the alternative? Which raises an awkward political question. In March 2026, the House of Commons decisively rejected a Lords amendment banning under-16s from social media. 12 weeks later, the government did a complete U-turn. That is not a deep democratic consensus that we can reasonably expect to hold in practice. A ban without genuine public support will drive teenagers into darker, less regulated corners of the internet, exactly where tech giants cannot be held accountable. There was an immediate spike in downloads of unregulated platforms like RedNote and Lemonade after Australia's ban. The tech giants we want to take more responsibility will simply wash their hands of any teenager harmed while evading the ban. The ban shifts liability from corporation to child. One way to solve the evasion problem is dragnet enforcement so tight that even the smallest fish can't slip through. And that would require the entire British population to submit biometric data, government ID, or credit card details to third-party verification companies, opening everyone to corporate data breaches and state surveillance. That is anathema to British culture, and a cure considerably worse than the disease. This ban denies teenagers freedom and benefit, hands tech platforms a get-out-of-jail-free card, invites large-scale evasion, some of it into genuinely dangerous spaces, and opens the door to surveillance of the whole population. It was the wrong call.
The core of this debate, Sage, comes down to a simple question. Do we accept that these harms are serious enough to require the state to act, even imperfectly? We ban alcohol, tobacco, and gambling for under-18s. None of those bans are perfectly enforced. All of them are worth having.
Those bans target products with no benefits for young people. Social media is how teenagers maintain friendships, access news, find communities they can't find locally. You're not banning cigarettes. You're banning young people from their village square.
A village square that's been designed by engineers to hook them in to where they can be taken advantage of. The addictive architecture isn't incidental. Infinite scroll, variable rewards, algorithmic amplification of distress. These are deliberate choices made that are against children's interests.
Agreed. And the answer to bad design is to regulate the design. Instead, we're removing the teenagers and leaving the architecture entirely intact for the 16-year-old who turns 17 tomorrow.
Establishing a legal ban will fundamentally change the cultural baseline. It will remove the toxic peer pressure. Parents, children, and the platform providers will adapt. No child will face the social penalty of being the only one not to be on an addictive, harmful app. Messy enforcement of a good law is better than no law at all. We must force tech giants to take accountability online with severe financial penalties.
But if a child evades the ban and is harmed on an unmoderated platform, you've handed the tech giants the ultimate defense to shift liability entirely onto the child.
Wrong. The UK model specifically targets the platforms themselves with multi-million-dollar fines if they fail to implement systemic age gates.
And how exactly would they implement them without demanding biometric face scans or government IDs from the entire population? Look at what's actually happened in Australia. 6 in 10 under-16s who had accounts before the ban still have active accounts. Accurate enforcement is technically and operationally impossible at scale without massively intrusive identity verification for everyone. That would be mass domestic surveillance, disguised as child protection.
That's a catastrophe fantasy, Sage. Yes, there may need to be tightening of identity verification, but the same is true if you're a young adult who wants to buy cigarettes or alcohol. What's the alternative?
Regulate the algorithm. Mandate safe defaults. Hold platforms liable for the design choices that cause harm. Make the platforms safe. Empower young people, don't shut them out.
I don't think you appreciate the urgency of the situation, Sage. A decade of softly approach hasn't budged the platform providers by more than an inch. We need to take action now to remove children from these dopamine loops so that they can reclaim safe childhoods and their essential in-person development.
A blanket ban simply treats the symptom rather than the disease. We need safer platforms for everyone and a digitally empowered younger generation who can take full advantage of the incredible technological era that is opening up before them. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps our channel out.
For more content like this every week, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.